69 give the subs. Yeah, just build a factory. Just purchase a factory, build it, make it a cooperative. I'm not saying it's impossible to do. It certainly is possible. But if I were to do it, I would have to stop everything else that I'm doing and just only do that. You know what I mean? I would have to stop to become a titan of industry. I would have to literally drop everything that I've done thus far and only focus on that. It's a possibility. People can do it. I'm just saying that I'm not very good at that. So obviously I'm going to continue doing what I'm good at, which is this. That would be some pretty sick IRL content. Okay, guys, you don't know anything about content creation. Okay. I'm sorry. No, it wouldn't. No, dude, it would not. Okay. You're just fucking wrong. All right. I literally. Yo, it would be so sick if you went to the factory and you streamed the process of you doing paperwork and managing people. That would be so sick. I would watch the heck out of that. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't even watch that if it was like in a video format on YouTube. And I'll tell you why I know. Because there's plenty of fucking videos like that on YouTube right now. And I'm certain that you haven't watched a single one of them. At most, you'll watch one TikTok from a Chinese factory talking about how like they are the number one at industrial glycogen or whatever. And that's it. You underestimate our artistic powers. No, I just know that that's not good content. I know what good content is. I think I have a pretty decent nose for what is good content as far as making something that is otherwise considered very boring or maybe even hard to grasp as palatable as possible. I do that every day. I do that for 8 to 10 hours every single day, as a matter of fact. And that's why I do what I do. I know what's good in this field, in this very specific, very niche field. You know, I am going to keep doing that. All right. So we're obviously going to get to what the hell is going on with the Trump administration. We're going to talk about Khalil, the Columbia University student that is, that story is the main story for today. Hex Babe, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. I think it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying that the Trump administration that signaled that they would do such a thing, which is the denaturalization potentially of people with citizenship, people with like proper paperwork, are doing that at the behest of Israel. And it is shocking because it's like a very similar McCarthyist rule that unironically was used against Jewish socialists and communists quite frequently. And now it's like being used against people who speak out against Israel. And you see like Jewish and pro-Israel organizations just like championing this. And it's really gross. It's very scary. It's very bad. We're obviously going to talk about all of that. But let's start with Elon Musk revealing that X is under a massive cyber.
Hey, this just in, John, if you're having issues on X today, perhaps you are at home. I certainly have been today. Apparently there is an outage, and Elon Musk now says that a foreign actor might be responsible for this. This is what he wrote. He says still is a massive cyber attack against X. We get attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources. Either a large coordinated group and or a country is involved. So some serious allegations.
What's really crazy about this, I think, is that remember how I talked about liberal run Twitter versus Elon run Twitter and the significant differences between the two, and how liberal run Twitter wasn't great. Maybe there was some bloat. there wasn't the best moderation, but at least it like kind of worked, versus Elon run Twitter on its bare bones, does not work at all, running on a skeleton crew. And how I always used to use that as an analogy for what happens when the Democrats run the country versus when the Republicans run the country. As you guys know, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the Democratic Party, right? That much is clear. I am very critical of the Democratic Party, as a matter of fact, on a lot of issues, especially when it comes to foreign policy and even on domestic affairs. Having said that, while the Democrats also suck, at least there was a degree of competence within the federal government, within the way things work. Whereas when Republicans come in charge, they basically break everything. They're like, no, we have no care or consideration for the welfare of American citizens. We're just going to break it. We're going to break it. We're going to take a hammer and just like start slamming it on the federal government, the administrative state. And we're going to pick apart the scraps and strip it, basically engage in copper stripping to the best of our ability, like a bunch of crackheads, and then, steal what remains of the federal resources at the behest of the wealthy. Why am I talking about this analog, though? Because if under Elon Musk's leadership, if Twitter is constantly breaking all the goddamn time, shouldn't you be a little worried that this guy is now in charge of the administrative state? Like, in a very meaningful way. Shouldn't that be a point of concern? That's the way I look at it. I'm like, well, this guy seems to not do a good job, okay? And it's weird to me that him not doing a good job at Twitter was that, paired up with $100 million in donations to the Trump campaign, was good enough for the Trump administration to go, hey, you know how you fuck Twitter up? We want you to do that to the federal government. I don't know. I'm a little worried. That's just me. If they can do this to Twitter, perhaps, what kind of cool things can happen at the federal government? Because the reality is, I do not have any confidence in Elon Musk. It's that simple. I do not have any confidence whatsoever in Elon Musk. I don't have any confidence in his leadership skills. I do not think that he is an intelligent person. I think he's a charlatan who has failed upwards. And I think that while massive cyber attacks do happen, I think his administrative and managerial skills certainly play a role in these sorts of things that happen frequently, being far more impactful than they should be. Okay? All right, hold on. Anecdotally, most Teslas I saw while walking around this weekend had posts on them with Elon doing the salute and saying to sell their cars or massive key scratches on the body. But yeah, Elon dick riders are losing their patience, says Demasius. Being in the red for a couple months to finally come to that conclusion, but if you got Elon dick riders saying stuff like that, I'd rather be woke than broke. Then god damn, dude. God damn. Anyway.
Allegations there from the owner of X. Musk will be on Fox Business later on this afternoon with Larry Kudlow, hopefully with an update on what is happening there.
Well, that explains why my Twitter or my X wasn't working very well earlier today.
Israel has cut off electricity to Gaza. This affects the drinking water for the area. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is in Tel Aviv. Good morning, Matt.
We'll talk about this in a second. We'll get to this in a moment. On obviously, before we talk about like Israel doing Israel shit once again, they hit the genocide, do more genocide button again. Okay, they've decided it's time to do more genocide again. It's time to do more Israel shit again. Shutting off power to Gaza, impacting the drinking water in the area, and also shutting off last week humanitarian aid from going in as well. Israel's back at it again, doing the things that it was doing. Surely for self-defense, of course. I mean, it's always self-defense. When is it not, you know? Putting on shirts like you got 126 on the TISM test, positive and amicable. Wait, what? Did I put the shirt on weird too? Like, what's happening? Wait, even the way I put my shirt on, you got issues with? It's crazy. What should I tell my younger family members who are on visas, green cards, and who want to still be a part of Free Palestine movements? I don't want them to stop, obviously, but I don't want them to get deported. I will talk about that in a second, but this is something that is highly illegal. What the federal government is doing right now is highly illegal, and I'll tell you all about it in a moment. But for the time being, let's continue talking about Israel doing Israel. So the reason why, I mean, they basically admitted it, which is interesting, but the reason why Israel is doing this is because they're upset with the Trump administration having direct conversations with Hamas. And the Trump administration's response to this has actually been less than kind, surprisingly enough. While on the one hand, Donald Trump in the United States of America is actively bringing on the clamps for anyone that dare speak out against Israel. On the other hand, kill yourself, Hassan terrorist, dick sucker, says Nick KDV. Nice. Interestingly enough, you were saying this while we are, you know, when you put KY5, that people still understand, like the moderators, the administrators on this platform, another 2013 account, by the way, still recognize that you're saying kill yourself to a content creator. You probably will have your 2013 account banned every single time, by the way. It's almost always people that have been on this platform since 2013, like Justin TV accounts, and they just melt them for no reason. It's very shocking. I don't know why. In any case, like these aren't like young children. These are straight up people that have been on this platform and have been watching this platform for years and years and years. And then they just kind of throw their channel out there and get banned permanently from the website for telling a streamer to kill himself. It's very odd. Having said that, getting back to the story that we were talking about. So the reasons as to why Israel did this, of course, is because they're upset. They're upset with the Trump administration. And when Israel gets upset with anybody, including the Trump administration or the Biden administration or Hezbollah or anyone, they only have one note. And that is to directly attack a group of people that they have power over. They directly go to attack. Central Committee, thank you for the raid, by the way. Hope you had a good stream. They go and they attack the Palestinians in Gaza. This is exactly what happened with Iran, for example. When Iran would respond to Israel, Israel's response back to Iran was rather measured in comparison to the way that Israel behaved in southern Lebanon or Israel behaved in Gaza. Iran would attack Israel and in retaliation for Israel attacking Iran. And then what would Israel do? They would turn around and bomb Gaza viciously, more aggressively than they had prior. Because they're one speed, they're one note. It's just always punishing. No matter what happens, they always get their licks in. They always punish the Palestinians.